You're hungry. You walk into your nearby McDonald's and order a large fries. Now, at this moment, imagine yourself ready to eat this golden crispy snack. You take a bite, and there's something off. The fry is dry, and something's missing. But what is it? Ketchup. Today, I'm here to talk about everybody's favorite condiment. The dynamic red concoction, at once savory and sweet, is slathered and squeezed onto just about anything. Ketchup is something that makes even the blandest foods delicious. So let's figure out where it came from. Let's catch up on the history of ketchup. The word ketchup itself is derived from the Chinese word ketchup, which was a widely used pickled fish sauce in Southeast Asia. Once the British had encountered this delicious delight in the late 17th century, they brought it back home, trying to replicate the original fermented fish sauce. It was only in 1812 when the tomato first entered the ketchup recipe. Its success was largely due to its ability to have a long-lasting shelf life and add flavor to a variety of foods. During the mid-1990s, the sales of ketchup exceeded $400 million annually, almost the cost of your tuition. You know what I'm talking about. As once a college student, I myself know the very moment when there's literally nothing in your fridge. It's absolutely empty, but you will always find that one red bottle of Heinz ketchup. But how is it made, you ask? Let me tell you. The creation of ketchup starts off in a small Spanish town for the annual tomato fight. Remains are then scooped up and put into bottles with a pinch of salt. Just kidding. The process begins with tomatoes being harvested and taken to factory by truck, where they are then watered, chopped, and pre-cooked in a stainless steel vat. Pulping machines separate the seeds, the skin, and the pulp of the tomatoes, and then they are placed in cooking tanks where all the flavors and spices are added. The main ingredients being sweeteners, vinegar, salt, spices, and or garlic. The mixture of ketchup is then placed in a de-aerating tank to remove the air pockets. Last but not least, ketchup is then cooled and packaged and put into sachets and sold to consumers, where they finally have the delicious taste of ketchup on their food. Besides the point, now that we know where ketchup comes from and how it's made and how it should not be made, let's break it down to the basics. What is it? For centuries, even the brightest minds couldn't figure out the answer to this question that haunted them for ages. Is ketchup a solid or a liquid? Well, I'm here to tell you. It's both. Well, actually, it's a non-Newtonian fluid. A non-Newtonian fluid is a liquid that responds to force linearly. For example, liquids such as water and oil, the harder you push, the faster they move, whereas non-Newtonian fluids respond to force non-linearly. Their thickness changes depending on the force and time and speed you apply to said liquid. Ketchup is seen as a non-Newtonian as it becomes thinner the harder you push, but below a certain pushing force, it acts as a solid. But once past that point, it automatically becomes a lot thinner, almost watery, and we all know how that feels. Ketchup is not only good for adding flavor to your favorite foods, but it also has numerous health benefits. Ketchup has a very high lycopene content. Lycopene is an antioxidant that protects cells in your body from radical damage. And according to the American Cancer Society, lycopene aids in reducing the risk of certain cancers. So hey, next time you think you want mustard with that burger, think again. Ketchup is also very high in vitamin A, which is most commonly linked to healthy eyes, teeth, and bones. So you could say some ketchup a day keeps the doctor away. Thank you for listening to my TED Ed, and I hope you learned a little something about my, and probably now your favorite condiment. I would like to end off by quoting the wise and knowledgeable Gucci Mane. If a man does not have sauce, then he is lost, but the same man can get lost in the sauce.